There are over 1,400 open tech roles in Ireland that require SQL today. A junior developer in Dublin can start at €52,000 per year. But most switchers fail because they can't handle real database logic. Today, you learn the SQL essentials to win your first Irish tech interview. We are moving from spreadsheets to enterprise data logic. Warning, this is only for career switchers with non-tech background. If you want a basic coding tutorial, this isn't for you. Let's build your authority and start your career reset. Welcome to the Career Code Journey. My name is Cindy de Albuquerque, and in this program, I bring tips and strategies for you to become a highly valued tech professional. I am your Java expert in Ireland, and I know how junior Java devs are hired. Today, we are going to see a practical and direct introduction to SQL. SQL stands for Structured Query Language, and it's the standard language used to interact with databases. My idea here is to demystify SQL. I'm going to show you that this is not a complex programming language. It's a powerful tool that you can use for managing and extracting information from large data sets. In this lesson, you'll learn how to create your first database, how to create your first table, and how to interact with it, to insert data, edit data, delete data, and retrieve this data. This knowledge is essential for Java developers because our systems have to interact with databases and you have to know how to use them. This is not a complete course on database administration or data science. We are not going to dive deep into complex concepts like query optimization, advanced data modeling, and database security. My goal is not to create an expert in 30 minutes. Why is SQL an opportunity for you? First, because this is a high-value skill. SQL is one of the most in-demand technologies in the tech market. Once you master SQL, many doors are open for you. SQL also provides a more accessible career transition. Why? Because SQL is an intuitive language, and it's closer to English. So for those without a technical background, it's an excellent starting point. It's a way to begin working with technology without having to master a complex programming language. It can also be the foundation for various careers. SQL is not only needed for developers. It is also the foundation for data analysts, project managers, and technical support specialists. You may think that this is too technical or too hard for someone that is a beginner. I understand that. It can sound confusing. You are already trying to learn a lot of things, and on top of that, there's SQL. But SQL is a query language. It's not a programming language. It's actually simpler than the logic and programming languages like Python, Java, .NET. It's simpler because you're only asking for data. You're not giving complex instructions. The whole point here is to simplify this topic. I want to show you that you can build something functional with only a few commands. You may also think that you don't have time to learn something new. You already have a work, a life, and everything on it. I understand that. It can be daunting. But the time you will invest in SQL will give you a quick return because the knowledge of SQL is essential in many tech roles. You are not wasting time. You are actually learning a skill that can take you out of the survival job and put you in a solid career with a competitive salary. What are the biggest mistakes that people make about SQL? First, trying to memorize everything. SQL is not about memorizing commands. It's about understanding the logic and the data. You don't have to focus on every single part of the syntax because you can find it quickly in the internet or with AI. What you need to do is to understand how things work. Second mistake is ignoring practice. This is not only for SQL. If you want to learn anything in tech, you have to apply it in a project and you have to be hands-on. This is the way you are going to internalize the knowledge. The third mistake is starting with the most complex. In everything that you are learning, you have to start small and then build on top of it. Once you master the simple concepts, then you can start expanding your knowledge. Here we are going to take a practical and structured approach. First thing that we are going to do, we are going to download and configure a DBMS, a database managed system. Okay, so I'm going to install PostgreSQL. In my case, I'm using a Mac, but if you're using a different operational system, you can use the official Postgres website. Okay, I'm installing it. I've installed it and now I'm going to open it and then I'll initialize it. Okay, it's already working. We have our database here. So I'll double click here. We are already in our database. First thing we're going to do is to create a table. What is a table? You can think of a table as a Google spreadsheet or an Excel spreadsheet. It's a place that has columns and rows. Each row is a data, and the columns define what are these data. So for example, here in Google Spreadsheets, we have columns A, B, C, D, and so on, and the rows. So let's suppose this spreadsheet contains values of employees. So let's say first column could be name, second column could be date of birth, we could have address, we could have phone, date that joined the company. Okay, so these are the columns. What is expected here in the name? It's expected name. So we can say like first, instead of name, we can put first name and then we can put last name. And then let's say, for example, we have here Cindy and then last name Key, date of birth 26 of October 1985, address, and so on. And then we can have someone else here. Let's say my husband. Hélio de Andrade, date of birth 17 of January 1980, and so on. We could have another row here. So, for example, my son, Henrique, his date of birth, and so on. We could put many entries here. So let's suppose this is the table. So we are going to create a table in Postgres. So the command to create a table is create table, the name of the table, and the columns. So let's do like this. Create table. The name of our table is employees and the columns. For now, I'll leave it like that so we can add our columns later. This is the table that we have created. Employees, I am the owner. But this table, empty the way that it is useless. So let's add a column into it. How do we do that in SQL? You have to give a command to alter the table because we are adding a new column. We are altering the schema of the table. So alter table. If I press tab, it already completes. So I start typing EM, for example, and press tab, and it already completes for employees. So we are going to alter the table employees. I'm going to the next line here just to ease my process. So what alteration are we going to do? We're going to add column. So add column. We're going to add column and we're going to give a name to this column. So let's say it's first name. And the thing is, when we're dealing with databases, the database needs to know what type is that data. In this case, it's a text. In Java, we would use a string. But for SQL, we use varchar. So varchar, and we have to give the length. So let's suppose 20 for the first name. Now, let's describe our table. DT is for describing table. Okay, so we have our table, employees. Now, we want to see the description of the schema. So it's like this. To see the schema of the table, we have to use this command in the table. I use the tab here. And then we can see that our first name is here. But that wasn't the only column. So let's add the other columns. So again, outer table. We are going to outer table employees. We are going to add column. Last name. It's a varchar. Last name, let's put 50. And then we can add column date of birth. For date of birth, we can use a date. Then we have to add the address. And it's also a varchar. Let's put 100. And we can add the phone. Okay, so for phone, we might think as it is a number, we could use an integer or big int. But the truth is, as there are phones that start with plus, with the DDI, for example, in Ireland is plus 34353. So that's why the recommendation is not to use a number. So we are going to use a varchar. 20 is fine. In Brazil, there was a bug because of that. It wasn't with the phone, but it was actually with the ID. There are some IDs that start with 0, and whoever worked with those IDs didn't count the 0, so there was a big problem. Oh yeah, I forgot. As I want to add many columns to this table, I have to separate them with a comma. Oh yeah, they joined the company. Oh yeah, add column. They joined the company. They joined. And this is a date. Okay, so now let's check our table. Employees. Now it has a first name, a last name, date of birth, address, phone, and date joined. Okay, how do we see the data in this table? Of course, we haven't added anything, so we are expecting it to have nothing. But how do we see that it has nothing? In SQL, we ask for it to select the data. So the command is select. I'm going to put a star here. Stars mean everything. So select everything from table employees. So select everything from employees. And let's see what it returns. Well, it returns 0 because we haven't added anything. Now we want to add an employee. How do we add a row in a table? We are going to insert data in the table. So the command is insert into the name of the table, in this case, employees, and then you put the value. So insert into employees, values, and then you put here. So Cindy, Albuquerque. Okay, now we have to add the date of birth. How do we do that? So how do we insert a date? SQL is clever. So we can put here the string containing the data, but we have to use the format ISO, which is 4 digits for year, 2 digits for month, and 2 digits for day. Okay, so 26th of October 1985 would be 1985, October 26. You can ask, can I insert it like I did in the spreadsheet, insert only a few values? Actually, I can. Because if you see here, this nullable property, none of them are defined as non-nullable. So I can add the values like this, and some of the columns will be null. Let's try this. Okay? Yeah, I forgot to add what I'm going to add. So here, I have to put what columns I'm adding. So in this case, it's first name, Cindy, then last name, it's not completing. Anyway, last name and date of birth. Okay, it doesn't accept double quotes. Okay, now I inserted it. And now, if we want to select everything from employees now, we expect to see Cindy there. Awesome. Cindy is there. Okay, now let's say we want to update the date joined. We are going to update the role in the table employees. So the command is update employees. What are we going to do? We're going to set date joined, let's say today. Let's set date joined as today. In my case, it's 26 April 27. Forgot to add the quotes. It should have updated the employee. Let's see. Yeah, it is updated. Let's add another employee. In this case, Elio. Remember, we have to use the insert command. So insert into employees. Then here we say, let's put only the first name. We are going to insert the first name and the value will be Elio. Let's see if it created the row. Yeah, there it is. But Elio doesn't have anything. So let's update Elio. Update employees. What are we going to do? Set last name equals De Andrade. We have a problem here. Let's see what this command will do. Here, it updated 2 rows. And if we check everything in the employees, you're going to see that Cindy was also updated, not only Helio. I don't have my husband's surname. So we have to roll it back. So if we do like this, update employee, set last name, de Albuquerque, it will update both rows. So that's why we have the where clause. What is the where clause? We say where we want to update. So we are going to put where, what do we want? First name equals Cindy. Only one row updated. Let's see if it did what we wanted. Yep, except that I misspelled it, so let's fix it. I don't want my surname misspelled. Let's see if it fixed. It fixed. Okay, let's add two more here. So I'm going to insert into employees values. Not Helio anymore. I'll put Henrique. I'll also add Daniel, my second, and Rafael, my third. I could add all of my kids. Okay, let's add all of them. Okay, it inserted 6. Let's see if it worked. Helio, Cindy, Henrique, Daniel, Rafael, Pietro, Bianca, and Jonas. Okay, 8 rows. Yes, we are 8. Let's update their last names. All their last names are de Andrade. I'm the only one who is de Albuquerque. So in the update, we can use the where clause for all those who are not Cindy, because everybody else who is not Cindy has the last name de Andrade. Okay, so I will use here update employees, set last name de Andrade, where name is not Cindy. Yeah, there's no name, there's first name. Okay, so 7 updated. Let's check if they're the right ones. Awesome, I'm the only one, Cindy de Albuquerque, and then everybody else in the family is de Andrade. Great. Now, let's suppose someone came here and added a wrong employee. Let's say, insert into employees, values, I don't know, Renata. Okay, and we see Renata there, but there's no Renata in this company. So we need to delete it. How do we do that? With the command delete. So we are going to delete from the table employees. Now we have to be very careful, because if I do it like this, it will delete all the rows. So I have to use the condition here, the where clause, like I did with the update. So delete from employees where first name equals Renata. Okay, it deleted only one. Let's see if it deleted the right one. Deleted Renata. Perfect. In this video, you learned how to create a table, how to insert data into this table, how to update rows from this table, how to use the where clause to update only the rows that you want, and how to delete a row from this table using the where clause. Now tell me in the comments, did you like this video? Did I help you in any way? Please share this video with whoever you think might be benefited from learning SQL and subscribe to the channel.